magic. And so everybody sat there and we all listened to it, and kind of things clicked. Like John was like, okay, like hearing the tone that he was using and like how the chord changes were moving kind of quickly through the jams and changing, and Aaron was just like creating this beautiful ethereal kind of background, this is what we did for 30 minutes right before the set, and then but when I was talking to John after the set, I was like, man, you were incredible. Were you sober? And he's like, nah, I took mushrooms.
I think that's beautiful that you guys all come together and just all sit in a room, say, this is our game plan, this is our mission, let's see how we sounded, and let's try to make it even better.
What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Best Show Ever podcast, the podcast where I interview people about the best shows that they've ever seen in their lives. I'm your host, Cam Herdt, and it's the first live episode ever recorded is the conversation that you are about to listen to. The conversation was recorded live on Jam Cruise a couple weeks ago. Man, that was just the best experience I could have ever asked for. Got to be honest, guys. That was like a really, really cool weekend. Just full of amazing moments, meeting cool people, seeing cool shows, getting to do some cool live shows for the jam band faithful that were on the ship. But man, there has been nothing cooler on the Best Show Ever podcast than doing one for an audience. Man, if you are listening to this episode and you were on the ship and you were in that crowd, thank you so much, man. We had so much fun because the audience was there cheering on answers from our guests here, cheering on the questions, laughing at jokes. Man, it made the whole experience super cool. I cannot wait to do another one of these things. Hopefully at some point this summer, we'll get a couple of those out there. But this live episode, the very first ever live recorded episode, is with Andy Frasco from Andy Frasco and the UN and Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast, and also Marc Brownstein of the Disco Biscuits. And man, just this conversation's nuts. This is just, if you are looking for the normal format of a Best Show Ever episode, this is not the episode for you. We go off the rails, onto the highway, off the highway, into the ocean, and we are out at sea in this episode. It is just, when you introduce Andy Frasco into the mix, you're agreeing that anything could happen, and anything does happen. We talk about just so many different things on this episode that can get us canceled, to be honest. And we get to celebrate Andy and his career and what he's doing right now. He's just on fire. It's the coolest kind of front man you can go see in the scene. So we get to celebrate him. We get to celebrate Marc Brownstein and the kind of the place that the Disco Biscuits have found themselves at right now, and where he's at in his career. Fans of both of those guys are in attendance, and you can hear that in the audio. I think that's so cool. And yeah, I mean, again, like we are going to try to get a lot more of these types of things to happen, but just could not be luckier to have sat down with Marc and Andy on Jam Cruise live for the Best Show Ever podcast. So that's enough. It's enough intro out of me. Enjoy the conversation that I had with Andy and Marc. But first, here's a little bit of music from Loom.
Hey, Jam Cruisers, how we feeling? Good, calm down. It's about to be a podcast. Okay, we're about to have a podcast here. Guys, you are watching the very first ever live taping of a Best Show Ever podcast episode. Give it up for yourselves for being very heady for that. Okay, there's a lot of Best Show Ever fans that would love to be you guys right now at the first live taping. Tons of scene points, a bank of them. And we've got two speaking of heady, very heady guests on the show with us today. Please give a warm welcome for not only Marc Brownstein, but also Andy Frasco. Bring them up, guys. How we doing? Oh, kind of a stare down. A little bit, might be a fight, you never know. Could start swinging, could start kissing, you never know.
Yo, Brownie, kiss me on the mouth.
Come on, just to start the thanks, guys.
That was close.
Every
enough.
time.
God. All right,
There
check.
you go.
Major check. This is good. I'm glad we're like really about as close as we could possibly fucking be here.
Bring
guys.
it in.
I
This
can
is
get
good.
closer if you want.
Come on in. Yeah, let's sit on each other's fucking laps. for
I
this
like
thing.
being in the middle right
Yeah.
there between you guys.
really good.
It's very warm and comfortable right here.
All right. Well, get comfortable because we're about to talk about shows, and not shows that either of you have done. Okay. We're going to talk about shows that you guys have attended and seen and been fans at, and potentially been inspired by. But first off, how's Jam Cruise been going for both of you guys? How's your sets been going? How's it?
I played one set. It was amazing. We had a great time there. I heard your set was off the hook outside.
Andy
Do you have
Frasco's
one
set
more?
last night was fucking sick.
You got one more. Do you want to sit in with us?
Where I'm leaving in the morning.
I always ask
Is
you
it
to
tonight?
sit in. No, tomorrow.
I'm not gonna be here.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I want to be rich like
Come
you.
and sit. Come sit in with me tonight at the DJ booth.
Can I just be your hype man in the
I
back?
would love. I tried to call you in the other day. I saw you walk by the booth. I even called you out. Did you hear? I was like,
Yeah.
Andy Frasco just got here. Now it's a fucking party. But
Kind of
you didn't
beautiful
come
to
in.
watch the
He's-
industry work, guys. You know. Just
And
kind of watch.
all
how
right,
the
tonight
scene
you're my
happens.
hype man. I love that.
I
I'm-
would.
Are you gonna sit
I've always
in?
wanted to be like a Tiesto hype man.
Oh God, this is the best. Now, I assumed you'd be at the Shawn Eccles Jam Room. Are you gonna?
Yeah.
So you're gonna do that,
And I'll just stay.
and then eventually you'll come up to the DJ booth.
I'll stay as long as that XC wears off.
Oh, good, good God.
Can we get a test? Can we get like maybe a light audition of what that might look like?
Just a lot of sweating and a lot of grinding my teeth.
Fucking this. Fucking this. What is this?
This is the best DJ set ever, Mark.
Yes.
What is this? Jam Cruise! Couple times. Fuck yeah, dude. Wow. It's nice to watch how the sausage gets made. You know, how do these sit-ins happen? How does this even fucking work? Right here. You just saw it live. That's sick. Thank you guys for both being a part of this. Thank you for taking time out of your Jam Cruise schedules to sit down here in essentially a morning set for this live podcasting. Each one of you guys have more than likely seen tons of shows in your lives, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Mark sees more shows than I do. What? Do you?
I'm older than you.
No, you're not.
How old are you?
I'm
We don't
37. How old are you?
38.
Yes. By 1 year, big dog.
You know.
And I'm 13.
My body feels like it's 67 right now.
I saw the Grateful Dead first in 1988.
Here we fucking go.
at
Really?
Saratoga Performing Arts Center when I was 14 years old or 15 years old, something like that. And you know, I went with my brother and like smoked weed on the grass and like traded. We were trading. My mom packed us like a fucking picnic with like. She did. We had like a cooler with like 30 sandwiches in it, and we really did. And we just used them to trade for weed, like the whole night. That's all we did was give sandwiches out and get joints. And I was literally second set, just laid out on the grass, staring at the sky for the whole entire second set. And but that was the beginning, kind of my jam banding. You know, my first jam band show.
When I was 14, my first concert was Sum 41.
Yeah!
I was like,
Yeah!
my mom did not pack me a sandwich. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing out there?" And that's when I joined the jam scene, I guess. Wanted to make my mom proud.
Yeah, dude. Was that Grateful Dead show the first show you ever saw? It was the first concert?
No,
you
the
went to?
first concert I ever saw was Men at Work at the same venue, Saratoga Performing Arts Center. Yeah, and then Whitney Houston was the second one.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Fucking hot. It was so sick. That was sick. Not the best concert ever, but it was
Right.
close to.
I mean, Whitney Houston was a bad bitch.
Oh God, it was really amazing.
Pre-cocaine and after cocaine. It was all a vibe, both
dude.
sides of her.
Yeah, man. Got the whole picture. Wait, how old were you for that show? This was what?
Men at Work or
Men at
Whitney?
Work,
Yeah,
and
that was
I-
the same summer. I was 13, I think. 13 years old.
Sick summer.
Yeah.
Sick fucking
How
summer.
old were you? What year was that?
I was 13 in 1986.
See, he's aging. Give it up for Mark Brownstein. He's
Yeah.
aging like a fucking real winner.
Beautiful.
I'm 51.
Holy shit.
That's the truth.
I'm not going to make it to 51.
No Botox.
Damn.
Yeah. No Ozempic. None of those things.
Just nitrous and ecstasy.
Breakfast
you-
of champions.
This is what it looks. That is a little bit like whenever you hear like someone who's 100 years old, they do like the Smuckers thing. They'd be like, "What's your secret?" And they're like, "I smoked cigarettes and fucked every single day of my life." It's like it's never someone who like did 100 push-ups every day. Like that guy dies at 63.
I think of Keith Richards. Like,
Yeah,
that guy,
dude.
like that man has.
Because
Still-
he gets the best drugs. That's what's going on.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
That's actually true. That's like what they say.
They got he's got a handler.
He just gets it's the cleanest, best drugs, and apparently you don't die that way. I don't know. That's what it looks
That's
like.
all it takes.
I don't know. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do
Don't
drugs.
do drugs.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Don't do drugs unless they're really
I know.
good.
Oh, mom and dad are here. Shh.
Don't do synthetics unless they're
There's
from
no
Denver,
drugs here on
Colorado.
Jam Cruise. Don't worry.
That wouldn't come up, and that's not a thing that happens.
Yes.
But if it is, then get like really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
What was you said? Sum 41 was your first show.
Yeah, I was an emo kid.
So cool.
My 5 shows was Pennywise, Incubus.
Incubus.
Dude.
They're so good.
They're from Calabasas. And they were
dude.
like, I'm from Calabasas. And like, they're like the band, like, yeah, you could get out of Calabasas.
Yeah, dude.
If you just play songs about, smoking weed and stuff.
driving.
Instead of like writing songs about money and accounting,
Yeah.
So it's like,
Those guys, that was a little messy time for music. That's when you could just kind of scratch and be in a rock band, too.
yeah. Do you remember the Vans Warped Tour?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
That was my shit.
I hit a Warp Tour.
Dude.
Give it up for Vans Warp Tour. It doesn't get enough fucking love, dude.
Give it up.
I used to be so insecure about my Jufro that my mom used to straighten my hair every morning.
Oh.
She would
Shit,
blow
I'm gonna
dry
need-
it and straighten it because I wanted to be an emo kid so bad, and I didn't think there was Jews in the emo scene.
Were you going scene kid with it? Like
Oh, dude,
over
I
your-
Japanese straightened it one year, and I looked like fucking Albert Einstein, dude. It was like, because the hair would grow back, but you still had the straightened hair. So it looked like I was just electrocuted by like a socket the whole time. I'm like, fuck, Mom, you didn't tell me this. It's like, you can't just take the Jew out of you just because you straightened your hair.
Just
know?
because
It's
you
like-
want to be sad at the show.
it's like
rage
screaming
sad.
infidelities, man.
Yeah, you still got to be who you are.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. What was your worst show you ever saw in your life?
Worst show. God, I don't like talking shit.
And
but
it doesn't.
here is.
It doesn't. Hey, it doesn't have to be about the. It could have been your fault. You know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you could have.
Oh, I heard that Cotter from Goose, his podcast with you is coming out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And he said that I heard that he said like one of the best shows he ever saw and the worst was both the Disco Biscuits. But that,
Dude, same.
See, the thing about that is,
but the
I'm gonna
worst was because of him. Maybe he was on the wrong drug, something. I don't know. I haven't
you
heard the
did
thing
not
yet.
have Keith
I haven't
Richards
heard
shit at the time. But I will be honest with you. Both of my week 1 guests.
Poor Mark. Everyone's like, the worst show I ever had, Disco Biscuits. The best show I ever had, Disco Biscuits.
That's it. That's
That
when.
is-
Listen, when you step to the edge of the cliff every single night, 5-7 times a night, and jump off of it,
Tell 'em.
you're gonna fucking tank sometimes. You
That's
know
what-
what I mean?
That's
why I
what it's
was-
all about.
But then when you don't tank, it's the best, most glorious thing ever, and that's
Exactly.
and that's why the best bands ever also have the worst shows of all time. And,
That's exactly
my
fucking
worst
right.
show ever. I'll just answer this question. My worst show ever is
Take your time, Mark.
my favorite band. Fish is. Another band that's known to step to the edge of the cliff every time, and this particular night they didn't do that. And it's sad because it's so sweet what they actually did, but it was so painfully bad. They had a fifth member. Jeff Holdsworth was the fifth member of the band, or like the fourth member before Page was in the band. I guess a second guitar player, and in the mid '80s, and he left the band, before they took off. Sadly for him, but probably. Judging from the show that they brought him back to, they might not have taken off. so big if he hadn't left the band. No offense, Jeff Holdsworth. The guy's great. He wrote Possum, whatever. This is my favorite band in the world, okay? I will traverse the earth to go see Fish, but they brought him up for the 20th anniversary of Fish in Albany at whatever they called the place at that time, the arena in Albany, and it was like 5 songs, and it was like 4 too many and I wanted to be like, oh, this is so sweet. They're bringing the guy up. What a fucking dream. He's getting to play in this arena, but you're like on acid, and there's some guy that's not in the band that can't really play guitar, and he's just like, they're letting him solo the whole time. Trey's like looking at him, and it was bad.
You're like telling Trey, "What about me, Trey? God damn it!"
It was bad. But of course, like the 20 best shows I ever saw in my life were also Fish. So they made up for it many
That's
times.
how it works. It's called improv, baby. That's how it works.
Well, yeah. I would be happier if they just sucked on a given night because they were sucking. But it's like guests at Fish is like it's kind of like a weird thing a little bit. The horns are sometimes cool, but I want my Fish pure. And in the Disco Biscuit scene,
Just like your...
I like my fish with no rubber. Just raw dog.
I want good Keith Richards fish.
clean organic
shit.
4-piece fish. And I hear that a lot about the Disco Biscuits too from our most hardcore fans, that we bring guests up and it's fun and we like to do that and feature different people, but we know that ultimately what they want is to just the 4 of us to be in the zone all together.
That's fucking beautiful.
It is.
I wish my story was that beautiful. I was at summer camp and I saw this band named Shpongle.
Hell yeah.
Oh, good God.
And I like that band.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah?
But it was just the whole day, I was like, it's hot there, and I had a one-night stand with this girl, and I kind of came too quickly. And then she was kind of embarrassed. I was kind of embarrassed. It was 3 p.m. Oops. Then she gave me a little ketamine to make us all forget about the situation. And I never took ketamine in my life. And they're like, "You want to go see Shpongle?" I'm like, I guess. I was so embarrassed. And I went in there, and I guess ketamine's not really a drug where you should have a bunch of people next to you. And I felt like the guy was just staring at me I just hooked up with his girlfriend. Dude. But I wish I saw Shpongle, because I heard that band's really fucking cool. Have you seen Shpongle? Everyone's seen?
Very cool.
Yeah, they're super
best.
sick. And I just had a bad experience. And then I saw them, because when you're on drugs, you feel like the people are just doing the set for you and no one else, selfishly.
Yeah, dude. Maybe that's a you and me thing. I think we need to see a therapist.
Maybe we're narcissists.
Yeah.
But then,
Anyway.
then I saw it again, and now I fucking love Shpongle.
God.
They're a big jam band, right?
Well,
Back
they're
in the
not a
day?
jam band, but
Oh,
they're
shit,
an
sorry.
electronic act. But Shpongle is the #1 biggest influence of the Biscuits.
But you're an
early
electronic
days.
band. But you're a jam band, but you're an electronic band.
Right, because we jam. They don't actually jam. It's note for note. How they play it, through it. Maybe a couple things changed throughout the course of a show. We actually brought Shpongle and his live band to the United States the first time ever for Camp Bisco.
Really?
Yeah, I actually.
Yeah, dude.
We tried to get Simon Posford to come to Camp Bisco. I basically went rogue. Actually, the promoters. I didn't even tell them that I was doing this, but I started emailing this guy Benji, who was his second partner in another band called Younger Brother, and I started just offering him money to come to Camp Bisco. And totally rogue. And I was like, "Oh, we could give you $7,500 and hotels and this and that," and no answer. And then I emailed again. I was like, "We could give you $12,000, no answer." I finally got up to $17,500. And there was an answer instantly. I was like, "I could give you $17,500," and he was like, "Hello,
Hello, Marc Brownstein.
Love the Disco
we would
Biscuits.
love to come to Camp Bisco. Let me call my mate." And
We've always loved you guys.
You had me at $17,000.
then I had to call the promoters of Camp Bisco and tell them that I just booked a band for $17,500. And
They're like, what the fuck,
They were
Mark?
stoked.
it ended up being it was an incredible experience. And then every year we would bring a different version of one of Simon's acts, like hallucinogen and dub one year with Ott, who is one of the greatest like side projects of Shpongle, and then eventually Shpongle live with the live band, which is revered in that scene. Like he DJs at Shpongle, but Shpongle with the live band is like this revered thing. And now Joe Russo is like the drummer of it completely.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was with Simon at Camp Bisco, and he was watching the duo, Russo Benevento duo, and he was just like mesmerized by Joe, and he was like, "That's the drummer I want to be in my band." And
Oh, yeah?
ultimately, yeah, and so we put together a younger brother live band, and it was for the United States tour, and it was the two of them, these two British guys, and myself and Joe Russo on drums, and Tommy Hamilton from J-Rad on guitar, and we got to actually go to London and go in the studio for 3 weeks in London and record a whole album with this band with Simon. The guy's like my idol, and this was like just like a dream come true to be sitting in the studio with him and watching. He's a master in the studio, and just sitting there and watching him work his magic for 3 weeks was one of the greatest experiences of all time. Like,
So you paid
musically.
$17,000 for him to be your friend.
Basically, I mean, listen. You want to know how the sausage gets made? This is how the sausage gets made. This is what you
And it
gotta
was an
do.
honor to pay the $17,000.
You
Shit.
know? Do you know how much they paid to be your friend?
Dude, a lot.
You guys have no idea how much I paid these two guys to be here today.
I pay Nick every month to be my friend, actually.
It's a great friend to pay.
So
your
what's
boy.
the most money you've paid for someone to be your friend?
I mean, like, like when if Pretty Lights is going to be our friend, it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Come on, Mark, get more famous. Let's get Pretty Lights on the
Yeah.
fucking boat, dude. What the hell?
Yeah, well, they've had Pretty Lights.
Get more famous. Get more famous.
Really?
We've done, yeah. I mean, Camp Bisco got pretty big at one point. It was, there was a large budget, and we were paying several people large headlining money to come out.
I paid
and
someone
be our friends.
I paid someone $700 to wish me happy birthday on Cameo.
Who was it, though?
James Worthy from the Lakers.
Worth
Wow.
it. Worth it.
I was like, I got low dopamine right now. I'm gonna pay James to wish me happy birthday.
Dude, it's a Hall of Famer. That's fucking worth every penny. Hell yeah.
Shpongle's your worst show ever.
It was
After
bad
that-
because of the pre stuff.
Okay,
But then I
ketamine.
saw the ketamine. It's like the
Right.
same thing with your fish thing, because like,
Yeah.
and then I saw him recently or a couple years ago. Maybe it was another summer camp or
Rocks?
Peach Fest. Didn't
Oh,
they play
Peach Fest.
Shpongle? Peach Fest was.
I don't know.
And then I was like, oh shit, I get it. Like, dude, that makes so much sense how you guys are so parallel.
Yeah,
Because like you guys are really simpactica.
We when we were in college, we had some friends that were from like the UK and India, and they were like super into Goa trance, like psychedelic trance, and they introduced us to Shpongle like sophomore year of college, and eventually we paid them enough. Now we're friends.
And it all worked out.
Dude, that's more than a hooker, Mark.
Listen,
Well,
it's called networking, Andy.
Do you guys have maybe some shows that are not your best show ever, but you would be remiss to not bring them up on the podcast? Shows that are
Yes.
memorable in your lives.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Saturday Mission Bar and Disco Biscuits was one of the dopest
Oh,
shows.
you're so sweet.
Nah, I'm not doing that just to suck your dick because I really did have fun. I felt like a proud cousin. I wouldn't say I'm your uncle because you're a little bit older than me, but I just like seeing a band happy. And like I said, I'll suck your dick later when we're done. But
That's awesome,
I
guys.
was just really proud of you guys, and you're just a great person, Mark, and you deserve all the success. So
Exactly right, man.
give it up for Big Dick Mark,
Andy.
ladies and gentlemen. Big Dick Mark.
Come on.
He came backstage. All right, take it easy, guys. Take it easy. Beccarese. They
That chant gets started every fucking episode. Right after Cotter said that his worst show ever was a Disco Biscuit show, he's like, but God, Mark had a big dick.
Yeah. They call Marc Brownstein's dick the Philly special. 3 for $20, no deals.
Okay. And which one of those was your best shirt?
Oh, shit. That
Which one of those was your
shit.
honorable mention shows? You got any, like,
there's
outside of the Mish? Of
There's
course.
some great shows in the history of show going. One show that I went to when I was kind of younger in high school that was memorable was at Madison Square Garden. I grew up in New York City, and Madison Square Garden, obviously such a legendary venue, and it has an energy in there that's like palpable. It's different maybe than in other arenas. For some reason, something about it, the old Madison Square Garden had these like you could walk around the whole entire thing on like every single level, and it was just a great experience. It's not like that anymore, but the sound in there is amazing. And I was at the Joshua Tree U2 tour, and they brought out the Harlem Gospel Choir to sing "Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For" in the encore. It was the second time that they played the song, and they did this gospel version of it. It was really crazy, deep, and powerful. And then the next thing they did was Rattle and Hum, which was a movie that they made and released as an album. And that version of with the Harlem Gospel Choir came out as an official release. And as it was just documented in the movie, and it was kind of just this legendary show to have been at. And I would be remiss not to mention that in my top concert going experiences. It was intense. I didn't like really stay a fan of U2 as I got older, and like they changed and I changed and we went in different directions. But Joshua Tree was
album.
such a
Not a big fan of The Edge.
Come on, man.
I mean, The Edge is great. They're all great. Such a great band. But
No
I
uno,
don't-
dos, tres, catorce for you? Or what?
No, I don't know what that is. I don't know.
No, but I mean, that album is so legendary. I think that might be one of the best starts to an album ever. It's like Streets Have No Name, Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, and there's one other like major U2 song that is like, that's how that album starts. It's fucking unreal.
Yeah, I mean, it was a legendary album. It came out and there was a hit after hit after hit, and they were just so big. All the tour just sold out instantly, and it was a mind blowing show.
Big deal.
It was pretty cool.
Pretty big deal.
It was pretty cool.
What's up? I let Adam Stark. Yeah, exactly. I think Bruce Springsteen was a honorable mention.
Yeah, dude.
That motherfucker's 70, playing 3.5 hours a set, no break,
You don't break.
no cocaine, nothing.
Nothing.
He's out there just raw dogging that stage like a
Yeah,
real
dude.
champion, dude.
Yeah.
I went with my mom and dad. My mom's a big Bruce, and she took me to Kenny Loggins. Oh, dude, that man.
I'm sorry. Fuck yeah. That's awesome. That's cool. I think
God.
that's cool.
No, yeah, I think Bruce Springsteen or this punk band called Idols. I love Idols. They're
yeah.
like fucking. I'm into heavy shit. I want people to crowd surf on me. I want to be involved in.
Kinetic experience.
Yeah, I want to be a kinetic. Yeah. But I think Bruce Springsteen, I saw him at Ball Arena, and he's like 71, and like just nonstop. Didn't even talk to the crowd. Just went straight into everything, and to do something for 3.5 hours, and to do something at 70, just keep pushing. It gives us hope, Mark.
I feel really good when I actually was just at a Sturgill Simpson show a couple months ago
Hell
in Philly.
yeah,
and
dude.
It was similar, 3 hours straight on stage, and you know, like we take a break, we take a set break in the middle. 90 minutes, the shit gets heavy, and after 90 minutes, you kind of want to break. And 3 hours, 8 o'clock on the dot on the stage. And it's kind of a jam band now. They were like jamming a lot, kind of in like the Allman Brothers-y kind of vibe. It was a fucking amazing show. And right up to 11 o'clock, no encore. Like didn't like do the thing where they stop like after an hour and then come back for like 45 minutes, like a normal pop band. I mean, I don't know how he got through 3 hours, but 2 hours into it, he took a sip of water and actually said to the crowd, "It's my first sip of water. I got to get through 3 hours, without peeing. But Bruce Springsteen too.
That motherfucker wears a diaper on stage.
He wears a
dog.
diaper, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to
does.
hear it.
Bruce Springsteen?
Springsteen wears a diaper. He'll just piss all over himself.
Yeah. He's got it like that.
All right, I was wondering
you're
what
the-
was going on there.
like-
Like, how's this?
I'm like, dude.
71, no peeing?
When you're the boss, you can piss yourself and it's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, I
I'm
did.
37 and I piss myself.
Yeah.
Listen, when you play in the Galaxy Disco up there, I did 2 o'clock a.m. until 6 a.m. No peeing. Yeah, it's 4 hours show.
You might need to call a doctor.
I know. It was.
What's going on, Mark?
I didn't drink for like
man's
8 hours
dehydrated
before
as
I went
fuck.
up there. I took little sips.
Sturgill sips.
You have to plan. One time I did 6 hours up in that disco.
So when does like your urinary tract start fucking up? As you get
40,
up?
46.
Oh,
Depends how
sick.
much. I mean, maybe for
I
you.
thought you were talking about the
42.
time. Like 46
42?
minutes in.
Maybe for you.
I got. No. I'm so dehydrated. I just piss salt. That's good to know, though. That's good to know.
You got a good 10 years.
No, I don't, big bro. I got a good 6 months until all my shit starts breaking down.
Man, any like just to get back to
Music.
music. I'm loving talking about your guys' piss schedules, and that's fantastic. I'm sure we're all having a blast. But I would love to talk a little bit about music. Do you guys have like a best show, like definitive best show that you ever saw in your life that was just like, this is the one, or anytime it's referenced, that is the one, It's a bad show. It's a bad premise for the show. We've all seen too many shows.
I think like when we're younger, though, we always feel like those are the best shows, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think this is so embarrassing. I would say Boys the Men.
Why is that embarrassing?
No, it's
Why? Tell me why.
Well, I just like I went
Fuck it. They're
I
going
went by
nuts.
myself to the concert, and I just like I was into that stuff. And this man's like giving roses, like everyone call your mama. And then everyone's like, and he's like singing to their moms on the phone, and I was like, yeah, it was just such a magical moment. And then it was the first time I ever made love to a black woman, ladies and gentlemen, and it was
Amazing.
fucking awesome. It was the best
And
it was
now
the perfect
that
moment.
makes sense. Can I say something
What?
really quick? You are a little bit the Boys to Men of the jam band scene. You're getting out in the crowd, and you're talking to the people. You're rubbing up against them. Andy Frasco's a very Boys to Men fucking show. People are crying,
Oh, dude.
making out. Yeah, dude.
I'm like the Boys and Men with a smaller dick.
Well, I didn't say it.
It's like, girl, you
That's-
don't take this 3 inches.
Yeah, you'll stop for a little break to let us know what's going on. You're like, guys, life's great. It's gonna be okay. That's a very Boys to Men move. Like in the middle of the end of a song, be like, girl,
Girl,
I know I messed up.
I know you're high on ketamine right now, but literally, just want to tell you, you deserve love too.
Girl, I know you didn't get off at Cozumel.
Girl, I know you stayed up till 7 a.m. at the casino. I feel you, Queen. Go get him.
Yeah, dude, that's you, dude.
That's me, dude.
You are the entire
Dude, I'm the
group of
Jewish Boys to Men,
Yeah,
dude.
Fuck yeah. What about
Anyway,
you?
this song's about mental health. Here we go.
What's your favorite Boys to Men show you ever saw?
Come on. They're Philly.
You're from Philly.
Yeah.
I'm from New York. I'm a Jets fan.
Oh, okay.
Boo. I know you don't think
Look
it's
what you just did to
it's-
the show.
It's fucking bad enough just being a Jets fan. You don't have to boo me, okay? It's been fucking miserable for my whole entire life. So, but I'm loyal to them, except for this Eagles hat I'm wearing.
Hey, go Birds.
Oh yeah, go Eagles!
Go
Woo!
fucking Birds.
It's for the
Yeah.
brand. You're wearing that shirt. You're
It
wearing
was-
the hat for the brand.
I needed a new hat. I was in the Philadelphia airport. They literally only had Eagles hats in the whole entire airport this week. It was literal, but it feels good.
Yeah,
I like the Eagles. They're good. I go to a lot of Eagles games, but
Why is the Biscuits like when you hear Biscuits, you just hear Philadelphia?
it is a very Philadelphia. I mean, this is We grew up in the streets of Philadelphia as a band, and we took on the Philadelphia is a. We were talking about it this week because Philadelphia is a burn the city down whether you win or lose kind of place. You know what I mean? Team loses.
That's the most fucked up shit ever. Dude.
Burn the city down. Team
We're
wins.
down bad.
Oh,
Burn the city.
Burn it down.
We won the Super Bowl. Burn the city.
Yeah. I saw on the after they ripped a light pole down and were marching it down Broad Street like the 3 guys holding a fucking light pole with street lights on the end of it. Philadelphia.
Didn't someone eat horse shit a couple years ago?
Yes.
That's a thing.
You gotta
right?
believe yes, right?
This fucking city.
Was it that guy or was it no? Okay, cool. All right, cool.
This city, Philadelphia. But you take it on. You embody the spirit of your city, and the Biscuits are raw and gritty, like South Philly. You know, that's what it's about for us.
Have you ever met Will Smith?
We actually, our studio that we had for like 6 years was actually Jazzy Jeff's studio before us.
Oh, shit.
And
Did you ever throw him out?
he left all his fucking. He left all of his shit there, and there was like 40,000 records in the back room, and he just left them there for like 6 years, never showed back up, just all of his shit. We left it too because we felt like we shouldn't take it. It was Jazzy Jeff's. Eventually, I hope he got it back. But
I would love to see Will Smith with a pashmina at the Disco Biscuits concerts. So just like fucking heady jams, Barber.
get your band's name out your mouth. Will Smith.
This is why you're the GOAT. This is why you're the GOAT.
Will Smith has never been to a Disco Biscuit show as of yet. No.
Oh, that would be amazing.
The most famous person we've ever had at a Disco Biscuit show was Andy Frasco last Saturday.
That's not saying anything, Barber.
Pretty fucking huge.
Most famous person that's ever been to a Andy Frasco concert was, what was that guy's name?
Fucking
Ryan Felipe, yeah. I ended up
Nice.
doing cocaine with Ryan Felipe in some weird bathroom after he was in Cruel Intentions. And he's like talking about just guitar solos and stuff. I'm like, Ryan Felipe? You know Ryan Felipe?
I got no idea who you're talking
So
about.
Ryan Felipe is like this really hot guy. He's like really hot.
Uh-huh.
And he's still
So
kind of
you
hot. He
said
lives in
was?
Dewey Beach. And that was like when I was like really partying, and I'm still kind of partying, but
This is a theme in all of the podcasts of yours throughout the day.
oh yeah, this is why I have a podcast, so people could tell me stop partying.
The first time I tried to quit coke, it's going okay.
Oh.
You bring friends on to be like, knock it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, Denver, everyone loves ketamine now. I'm not
Did we get a woo
Yeah,
for ketamine?
let's hear it for ketamine. Let's hear it for ketamine.
Yeah, give it up for
Fucking-
ketamine. Really needs the support these days.
well, they say that it helps with PTSD.
Yeah.
And partying, but
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I was like, I'm starting to like try to dabble into that instead of cocaine. To like, I don't know. This is way too public for a fucking
Yeah.
conversation, but
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
It's just 250 of our closest friends
I don't know,
talking
it's-
about
Jesus.
what's
I don't
going
know, I
on
think,
late at night.
No, it's okay. We
It's a-
want to talk about this.
Yeah.
It's not 250.
because I am on 2.5 months of no nitrous
Oh
oxide.
my God.
That's good.
I thought I'd never
good
cut
thing.
that.
It's a good thing.
Is the ketamine here with us in
So
the
I-
room, Andy?
No, but I've been kind of dabbling with it, and it's kind of fun. I don't know. It kind of like makes you feel like introspective of like, oh, I should call my mom. You know, it's like, I don't know. Anyway, back to music.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, I mean, either way.
This
It's all-
is great.
it's all
I
one
feel
and the
like I
same.
really skirted the issue of having to talk about my best show ever here.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the conversation went sideways. for
I
a
asked
second.
Frasco what his favorite show was, and he was like, Boys to Men. I've been doing ketamine a little bit. I don't know. Is that chill or like, I don't fucking know. But Boys to Men, sick as shit.
I would love to do ketamine at a Boys to Men concert. It's like,
Stuck.
everyone call your mama. No, I don't want to call my
Not,
mom.
not right now.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Ugh.
Mark, what's your best show ever? Christ.
It's a hard call. You know, like there was a time where like Pink Floyd was touring and like The Who was touring and we were just going and sleeping on the street literally outside of like Ticketmasters and you used to have to do that back in the day if you wanted
Tower
to get
Didn't even
Records.
look at me.
yeah, you just
Didn't
like
even
go
see if I did that.
sleep on the fucking street and
Didn't even look my way. He's like, you did that. You fucking are 11 years old.
I did that. We used to do that for Pink Floyd came to town. You had to go sleep, fucking camp out on the street to get tickets. And at Pink Floyd at Giant Stadium was mind blowing. You know, it's like a product of being like 16 and just hearing them play songs from the wall, and it was just out of control. You know what? Best show ever? I don't know. Like probably the best show that I ever saw was probably in 1995 summer tour of Fish was probably where I saw my best show. You know, it was
Just somewhere in that run or that entire
I
run.
mean, there was a show at the Man Music Center in July 5th of 1995. It was over the top, and it was at a time where like every song was a banger, every song was classic, and they just went one after another, and then at the final three songs, I turned to one of my friends, and I just looked at him, and I was like, Hood, Terrapin, and a Token Cavern to end the set, and then Hood started, and Terrapin is like that's like a Pink Floyd song, you know, that Fishman would come out and sing, and that happened, and then the kid looked at me and he was like, dude, How did you know? If they play fucking Cavern right now, this is like the most it's like the odds of picking out of 200 songs, 3 songs in a row. It's
Trey's
like
not gonna fucking do it.
It's in the
He won't do that.
in the one in a millions of being able to do that, and it happened, and it was just like it was an incredible experience. Just being like, I was just like locked in. They were playing the show. Actually, for me, is how I felt at that moment.
Yeah.
I was like, I just like put it out there, and they played it, and I'd have to say probably my best show ever was Fish, as they're my first favorite band.
Have you ever got a selfie with Trey?
I peed next to him here. We're back to peeing.
Oh, sick!
I peed next to him in a club in Vermont once. I was just like in the urinal, and then some guy steps up next to me, and I turned to the right, and it was Trey. And I was like, "Hey, big rat."
He's like, he looked over like, oh
Duh.
shit, this fucking guy has a hog on him.
That's Mark.
No. No, I never wanted to be friends with those guys. Oh, Jesus.
Every
Good.
episode.
On the
Good
count of 3,
God.
say Big Dick Mark.
Oh,
1, 2, 3.
God.
That's gonna sound great on the audio. Thank you, Aaron.
I'm Jewish too.
No, you got the other side of Jewish. There's like Jewish people have really big dicks or just really small dicks. And I could see the indent in your pants right now. You've got either big balls or a hog, dude.
I feel like this is a very Howard Stern kind of bit that you have.
Money, it's gotta be the jeans.
I have a Howard Stern bit
fuck
too.
it, pull it out, Mark. Let everyone see it. Pull it out.
This is. You are actually in the
Why did I fucking
podcasting world. You
invite
are
this
the
guy?
Howard Stern of the jam band scene. We have determined that you are the Howard Stern of the jam band scene. Long form, amazing, thoughtful, deep interviews, and a lot of jokes about how small your dick is.
To be,
to
to be both the Howard Stern and the Boys to Men of the jam band scene in such brilliant balance is just.
I don't know. I'm just so fascinated with dick size.
Yeah.
Anyone else like that?
Nah.
No? You can say no. Don't worry. I'm weird.
This one over here.
This
she
guy's
is.
like, fucking, yeah, dude.
Like, have you ever seen Adrian from Twiddle's dick?
No.
Dude, where's Adrian?
When would that have come up for me?
I have.
Oh.
I saw a selfie of him. He didn't pull out a dick pic, but he was just really pumped about working out on tour. And he had this hog on him. And I don't know if he did it on purpose. I hope he did
happened to
because
the
he's a
show?
legend if he did. The man had the biggest cock I've ever seen in my life. So if you see, he's on the boat. So if you see him,
Yeah, ask him about that.
Ask
He's
him
gonna
how
be
big his
awesome
dick
about
is.
it.
Yeah.
He's gonna love that. If you ask him about his dick and you don't know who he is, that's gonna be sweet for Adrian.
He's
just
he's a
tell him
phenomenal.
Frasco sent you.
He's a great musician too. If you know, he's,
Oh,
Excellent
dude, Kung
musician.
Fu.
he's incredible.
He's an excellent
Adrian
musician.
is unbelievable,
Dude.
At both guitar and drums. He is. Have you seen him play guitar?
Oh, my God.
I mean, he is a virtuosic musician.
Isn't
Adrian
it
from
amazing
Twiddle.
how many amazing musicians come out of Vermont?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's going on?
It's fucking
What
crazy.
happens up there?
Aliens.
Alien stuff happens up there.
Yeah.
Weird people come out.
And
of there.
ice cream.
Just give people in Vermont money and instruments and just leave them alone. And just let them make stuff and jam together.
This is why I sent my kid to Vermont to learn how to play drums. Oh, really? Straight up. He's studying jazz at UVM, third-year drummer. He's fucking sick. The kid, and it's
yeah.
I'm pretty sure because he's in Vermont.
For real.
Right. Truly. Man, any other shows that you guys wanted to bring up that you would be remiss, or do you guys have a best show that you know is your favorite show that you ever played in your playing careers?
That's a big question. I played 1900 shows at this point. You know what I mean? A
But
lot of them
pick
blend together. I do think that right now we're the best that we've ever been.
Let's
it's
fucking
I
go.
agree.
So,
Yeah, man.
Without question, we are, and I think that probably the Mission last week was the best show that we played in 2 years.
Fuck
And
yeah.
so most consistent, and so that might be the best. A lot. I mean, I've heard people say it was the best Biscuit show of all time. So
What
and
makes
even
it-
you liked it.
I liked it, Mark.
A curmudgeon. What makes it a best show for you? Is it like the set list flowed together so well? There was choices that surprised you.
So again, when you approach your music from a place of not knowing what's going to happen for each and every jam, when you don't jam like over chord changes and solos and stuff, and you truly are working together improvisationally as a one organism, sort of like the whole band is creating one thing, and when you do that in every single jam, you're taking that risk. Like we do 5 or 6 jams per set. That's kind of the formula. So you're doing that 12 times a night, and the odds of having every one of those be amazing it's hard to execute. So from show to show, there's like kind of how consistent you are from show to show, and then within the show, it's like how consistent you are from jam to jam. And that particular show just flowed. Every single jam was great. And so there's the flow state. If you guys know anything about flow state, you know, athletes and musicians, you know, will get into flow state. Like Michael Jordan was a flow state basketball player. Kobe Bryant, flow state. And
Marc Brownstein.
Andy Frasco,
when you're
flow
in a
state.
band that's improvisational, you can get into flow state, but not everybody in the band will be there. So like you'll come off stage and 2 of the guys will have been in flow state, and one of the guys will be talking about how he was in his head and was thinking a lot and couldn't get comfortable. But when the whole band, 4 people together at once, reach flow state, that's what makes the best show. You know what I mean? The best show is,
Absolutely.
and that's what happened on last Saturday night. It was 4 people all in flow state for 3 hours straight. It was wild.
And crowd feels that. You know, they know
Right.
when you're having fun. They know when you're locked in. That can be felt. Is there anything that helps you get to that place, or things that you have to do throughout the day up to the show that gets you to that? Make it easier to get to
Mushrooms. I don't know.
Mushrooms and nitrous.
Well, after the show, I went to, sorry, Mom. I was backstage and I looked at Barbara and I was like, you know, you were the best guitar player in the world tonight. I've never seen you be like this. That was the best I've ever heard from you. I was in awe.
was an awesome.
I was in absolute. My jaw was on the floor listening to him from the first jam in Rock Candy into Helicopters. He was on fire. And what we did was before the show, I got the band all together, backstage, and I got everybody out of the room, and we took our pen.
Everyone calm down.
We put on.
Andy really understands the tone of the show.
I put on. I put on a show from Bonnaroo 2008 that the Disco Biscuits played.
Fuck yeah.
And I said to the band, I would like everybody to just sit down and listen to 30 minutes of this show together so that you can hear just how dialed in this band was on this particular evening. And I would like for you guys to just pay close attention to what you're all doing in these particular 30 minutes because I just listened to it last week, and it's just magic. And so everybody sat there, and we all listened to it, and kind of things clicked. Like John was like, okay, like hearing the tone that he was using and like how the chord changes were moving kind of quickly through the jams and changing. And Aaron was just like creating this beautiful, ethereal kind of background. This is what we did for 30 minutes right before the set. And then but when I was talking to John after the set, I was like, man, you were incredible. Were you sober? And he's like, nah, I took mushrooms.
Helps.
Oops.
Helps.
I think that's beautiful that you guys all come together and just all sit in a room, say, this is our game plan, this is our mission, let's see how we sounded, and let's try to make it even better. That's important.
It's like sports, you know what I mean? Like sports teams go back and they watch the video of the games that they played and they dissect. They spend like dozens of hours a week dissecting their previous performances and seeing what they did right, seeing what they did wrong, and we think of it like that. Like you can't just like play it and then like let it go. You have to go back and study what you're doing and what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong if you want to improve. And when you hear it, the great stuff, it just clicks. And for the mission, it just clicked. We went back, we listened, we rolled back the tape, listened to a great show, and just like channeled it, came out on stage and just threw it down.
Yeah.
It's got to feel good in the locker room then.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's watching the film like, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. That's so funny. That same weekend, I played the mission the night before. I felt that was the best concert I ever did, too. And it was like, thank you. It was
huge horror. Huge horror.
Yeah. I mean, it's the most tickets we've ever sold as a headliner. And I think it was also mostly monumental because my mom's been fighting cancer for 8 years. And this was her first year, or this is her first show. She's been in remission and got to fly out to a concert and stuff.
Dude.
So it's like,
Rip it up.
It was, I want to make her proud.
Yeah.
I didn't say pussy that much or
Good job, dude. That's good.
I'm like, this is for you, Mom.
Good job, dude.
I'm like, thanks for having me out of your dick, man. No, I'm just no, but
and she's like, I am so proud.
no, but
dude.
yeah, it's I don't know. It's like
That's
those
proud.
moments when you're completely present. Like if it's important to you, I think that's what we need to try to do every day in our life is make life important. However way you want to do it. Doesn't matter if it's a concert, if it's being with someone you love, or just having a drink with a friend. Make it important, because if we don't make it important, then we're not going to be present. And I think that's the most important part about life.
That's right.
Is to be present. So.
Man. Definitely, yeah. If you're going into something like this is whatever, that is exactly what it's going to turn out to be, is whatever. But if you treat things importantly and make it a big deal, it is a fucking big deal. You have got to get to a place for your shows where you are running around the consummate lead of a band, the front man. How do you get to that place? How do you amp yourself up to get to maximum fun at whatever the time of your set is? And just like we know,
Take it easy.
we
Mom and Dad are
know
here.
there's like drugs and like
Mom and Dad
jerking
are-
off
Take it
and
easy.
and like watching
no, but
porn
you're-
and fucking doing crazy shit.
Well, to be honest, I don't drink, I don't do anything before shows, or that's not my thing. I have to be it just takes a lot out of me to be completely present to try to conduct a show. So like I don't fuck around. I really do. I know it doesn't seem that way, but I take everything I do extremely seriously. So it's like
I've seen you eat mushrooms on stage.
well,
I've literally
those
seen you do that.
Those are
before.
props.
It's like, who's got mushrooms? Oh, great, thank you.
well, and as,
Those are tater
This
chips.
very boat.
yeah. Well, in retrospect, I think
no,
I was
not on this boat. Not on this boat. Sorry.
I mean, like at a different.
Don't rat us out, Brownie.
It was a different boat. It was
Way back on the mainland.
Norwegian cruise
No, but
line.
yeah.
Montana.
I think I was doing that early because I don't really do that anymore. I think I was doing that earlier because I was insecure in myself because I see people like you. I see all these amazing musicians, and I haven't really caught up to that point. Well, it was just insecurity with me. And then I think the last 2 years I've been taking it a little more seriously and feeling like I could be one of y'all too. And I think that's when I finally realized I don't need to fucking shoot up mushrooms in my body.
We only started taking it seriously 2 years ago also. So.
You got time, folks.
Holy shit.
You can always start taking it serious. You
This
got time.
This is like Jerry Springer right now.
Yeah, dude. Like a really good episode of Jerry Springer. I got to be honest.
It's Jam Band Springer.
Well, guys, I can't thank you enough for both being on the show with me. Guys, can you give it up for Andy Frasco? Andy Frasco and the UN. Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. And can you give it up for Marc Brownstein from the Disco Biscuits? DJ Brownie. It has been a true honor to interview both of you guys today, to have you be my first live recording ever. That means the world. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show.
And give it up for Cam, ladies and gentlemen, our guy. A legend.
Thank
We
you.
love you.
Thank you, man.
Hey, let me kiss you on the mouth. Have a good night.
He tastes like cigarettes. Good night, folks. Thank you so much for showing up to the Best Show Ever podcast. This will be coming out whenever I get the audio. Thank you so much for showing up. We get you guys some stickers from the Best Show Ever. That's what it's all about, getting stickers. Enjoy yourselves, Jam Crows.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first live episode ever recorded for the Best Show Ever podcast. Man, just like I said, crazy energy in that room. There was people kind of all the way to the back of the bar. Like I said, if you were in that crowd, thank you so much for attending. If you were walking through and discovered the pod happening halfway through and you stuck around, like it was just the coolest sight to see from the stage of people listening to the podcast live and cheering on Mark and cheering on Andy. Man, just two absolute pillars of the jam band scene right now, legends in their own right, and just could not have been happier to interview those dudes. So if you enjoyed this episode, please consider, subscribing to the YouTube, rating us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. All that stuff helps out with the algorithm of it all. If you're interested in having access to a bunch of brand new episodes, there's about 7 new episodes that aren't out yet that are on the Patreon. So if you're interested in those, check them out. You can become a member for $4 a month and you get access to all of those. I've also got some more bonus content on there that'll never go out publicly. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And until next time, guys, have a great show.